Welcome back to the Kieran Carlin Football Channel. It's predictions time. It's that time of the week where I say exactly how it's gonna go. But let's have a quick rundown of how I did last week. Oh my word, 3 out of 10 wrong. How many exacts? 1 exact. Okay, just the one, but that's not the point. I called the teams correct, which is pretty impressive, and I think it's a very good display of my ball knowledge because it is all completely off the dome, because I like to position myself as your average football consumer. I watch loads of games and stuff, but a lot of the time not a lot goes in, can't retain that much information, but I just enjoy it. So it is what it is. I'm not jumping on Stats Bomb to see people's pass percentage. I don't know if someone played last week. Oh, how many minutes did Espetoun get at Brighton last week? I don't know. I watch Match of the Day and I look at my phone at the same time. Okay, we're the same. We're good people. We're normal people. But when I'm inside, I like to predict the football results. Leeds Bournemouth. Leeds somehow managed to sneak a win against Liverpool, which was absurd. I don't know how that's going to translate into a game against Bournemouth. Bournemouth threw away a 2-0 lead against Tottenham, who Tottenham are bad, but they're also third and 3 points behind City. They have played one more game than us, but still, they're still going, they're still up there, and I'm not judging how people are playing in these games, I'm judging who is winning. For that, Leeds had 4 losses on the bounce. Boing, 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 boing. 4. Will they return to losses? I'm going for a Leeds United win. I'm going 2-1. Gary O'Neill was having a bit of a tough time at Bournemouth. Now it was great. Now they're looking a bit. Manchester City at home to Fulham. Now I did want to go to this game, however, there's a rail strike on, and I'm not spending 4 to 5 hours on a coach to watch Man City Fulham and then 5 hours back, because quite frankly, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna say it. There's some games where when you live as far away as I do, it's just simply not worth it. I've gotten on one coach before from Colchester in Essex to go watch City play a Champions League game against Celtic, and it was like 0-0 or 1-1, and honestly I was awake for 24 hours to get back via a coach, and it's the worst thing I've ever done. It was horrific, so I'm scarred for life from that, so not interested in getting on a coach ever again. Get me the 2-hour train, but it's not there, so not going. Oh, go Man City 3-1. I think we'll get the goals, but I'm still a bit worried about it defensively. I still think we can see goals which aren't necessary. Nottingham Forest, Brentford. Now, both of their forms are almost the same in the past 7 games. Brentford have had 1 extra draw than Nottingham Forest, but apart from that, there's very little consistency. So based on that, I got that feeling inside of a draw, you know? I feel like going with a draw. I can't remember if I went with my nut or my gut before, but I feel like it was my head, to be fair, but swings and roundabouts. Wolverhampton Wanderers and Brighton. Brighton finally got their win against Chelsea, absolutely battered them. Wolves looking like they're going to get Julian Lopetegui. Where's that come from? I don't know, but he speaks Portuguese, so quite clearly, yes, get him in. I'm assuming he can speak Portuguese because he managed Porto for a bit, and Spanish is a bit like Portuguese. But even if he does come in on time, I don't believe he can do anything to stop the current rot. They got a draw against Brentford last time at Wolves, but I think Brighton are much better, and I'm going to go for 2-0 Brighton. De Zerbi's tricky seagulls. Back at it once again. Another 3 points, lads. Well done. You'll make it up to... Fucking hell, you're 8th. Everton, Leicester City. 2 teams that play in slightly different shades of blue. Both with 3 wins under their belt in the last 7 games. Both with 3 losses under the belt in the last 7 games. Both with 1 draw under the belt in the last 7 games. Now, Leicester's win actually came against an awful Leeds United. And why have I slid down so low? an awful Wolves and an awful Nottingham Forest. They lost only 1-0 to City. They weren't great in that game. They literally just sat back the whole time. Admittedly, they had chances, could have finished 1-1, but there was nothing I saw that I was like, oh wow, Leicester are back. Everton, tricky little buggers, drew with Fulham last time out. Beat Crystal Palace 3-0 before that. Everton scoring 3 goals. Surely not. And surely not again. It's going to be 1-1. Oh, I'm tempted to go 2-1 Everton. 2-1 Everton. Fuck it. Fuck it. Why not, mate? Why? I know you just spat your lunch out. Cheerios everywhere. Bit of a strange lunch, to be honest. You should probably eat something a bit more interesting than that and a bit bigger. Put that pot of Cheerios back in, mate. Let's move on to the next one. Chelsea, Arsenal. Oh, it's the big game. Chelsea embarrassed Potter. Oh, 10 points away from Gryffindor, my friend. They were embarrassed by his old team. 2 own goals, but you got to pay to play. Okay, the game's the game. Arsenal, however, are playing the game. 5-0 against Forest, very convincing. They did draw with Southampton, a little bit rocky. But Ben Chilwell is out for like 4 months or something ridiculous. Cucurella is going to be playing, and you'd think he'd be good. 63 million, Potter's previous protege, but he's not. He's toilet. He's a waste of money, and he's got a dead trim. And that dead trim will come into effect. It's going to be the opposite of what I've just described, because it's going to be a Chelsea win. 2-1 to Chelsea. Sometimes there isn't logic. Sometimes it's all feeling. I'm all about feeling. I can't believe I did my World Cup prediction and some people are like, Ecuador? Yeah, Ecuador. Why not? It's football. No one really knows. What are you on about? Grow up. I'm not here for insight. I'm here for vibes. Right? The most important thing at the time, it's the cost of living is going on. Right? And you know what people can't afford but need? Free vibes. And I'm giving it to them. Right? In the form of ill-informed football content. So just grow up. Aston Villa, Manchester United. Aston Villa are still bad, but they have Emery, which is an incredibly exciting appointment. They haven't had a manager of that caliber ever. It's pretty impressive. Like, say Emery gets them to Europa League, like he's above the pay grade, but he'll get the backing. He will get the backing, so it'll be very interesting. I hope they give him this season just to try and steady the ship and then see where they can push on from the summer. I wouldn't expect miracles now, but this squad is much better than they are sitting in 16th. And I think maybe they get something out of Man United. They won't. United will win. They're not that bad at this point, to be honest, which is a shame. I really enjoy seeing them being shit, but they're still mediocre, so that's fine as well. 2-1 to Manchester United. Now we come down to the final 3 fixtures. We've got Southampton struggling once again all the time. The inconsistency is there. They've lost again the last game, but before that they didn't lose in 3, and before that they lost at least 3 against Newcastle, who quite frankly are killing it. Battering Aston Villa 4-0 out last time, beat Tottenham 2-1, beat Everton 1-0, drew to United, beat Brentford 5-1, beat Fulham 4-1, drew with Bournemouth. Goals galore for the Magpies, and against the Southampton team, which can be tricky on their day, but is it going to be their day on Sunday, the 6th of November at 14 hours? No. It's going to be 3-1. Oh God, are Southampton going to score? No, they're not, are they? 3-0 Newcastle. Actually, you know what? 2-0. I've over-egged the, they're away from home. It's not as easy as you think. West Ham, Crystal Palace. The Irons versus the Eagle. Oof. Similar forms, 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 draws for Palace, 2 losses for Palace, 3 losses for West Ham. I'm a big form guy. I'm a big previous results guy. I'm also a big lover of animals, mainly just the standard two main animals, dogs and cats. But animals nonetheless, like your mum, love her. West Ham they should have got something from the United game last time out, and I feel like they're getting a bit closer back to their best. They're 13th for 14 points. I mean, that's only 3 points off 18th, but you know, it's still early days. I'm gonna go for, I think it'll be a West Ham win. I'm going 2-1 West Ham. I like Palace, I think they're good, but they're not really beating the best teams at the moment. They've beaten Leeds, they've beaten Wolves, they've beaten Southampton. I feel like West Ham are better than all those, especially at the moment, and that's why it's 2-1 West Ham. And the final game in the penultimate game week of football before the Qatar World Cup. Rest in peace, everyone involved. That joke is actually not me joking that people died. That's me joking that he's going ahead and that just how the world works. But you know, there's layers to a lot of things, I say. So you just got to dig deep and really understand that. If I'm a prick, I'm only pretending. And if I'm not a prick, then well, you're wrong there as well, because I am. Tottenham versus Liverpool. Tottenham don't do draws, all right? They win or they lose, quite simply. They go the full hog, the full throttle of being dead fucking boring to watch. Fuck them. Fuck Tottenham. I believe they've got some injuries this weekend, and it feels like, despite Liverpool seemingly not being able to make a comeback from being poor, they beat us 1-0, beat West Ham 1-0, lose to Forest 1-0, lose to Leeds 2-1. What's going on there? But I've got a feeling that Mr. Darwin Núñez, the best shittest finisher of all time, the funniest player to watch in the entire world, a man who would be behind Mini Minter on who scored after a Sidemen charity game, Darwin Núñez. He's going to score in this game. All right, he's going to embarrass Tottenham, embarrass them into a 2-1 defeat. Liverpool 2, Tottenham 1. Tottenham fans, I'm feeling like they're ungrateful. They got through the group all by skinning your teeth. Who cares? They're sitting third. This is probably one of the best starts they've had in yonks. I know the football's bad, all right? I know it almost feels like a jumped up Mourinho, but it's also like a project. There had to be some rebuilding done in the middle there of the pitch, and quite frankly, ungrateful bastards. You won't be calling for Conte out or considering it when you've done the double over us again. Once again, speaking of us. Oh, I changed my shirt earlier. I was wearing a New City shirt. It was like a retro one. Here's a picture of it. But I forgot, and now I've ruined a bit. And now I've ruined your lunch, which is appalling. Well, if you subscribe, and make sure you subscribe and like the video, then next time I'll do my best not to embarrass myself and shame myself. I'm really sorry I've just ruined your lunch with this really, really ill-conceived attempt at a really good bit. Viva la Ecuador.